Well, hello to all my friends on the interwebs who love miniatures. I'm Doc Ian. It's a Monday, and I'm here to ramble. It is, in fact, Monday the 8th of August, 2022. And we have a whole heaping of Reaper bones finished this week. First up, we have the characters here in the beginning. We have the sort of elven knight with the impressive shield. I have a dwarven pugilist sort of guy, a boxer with very heavy cesti. And we have a human ranger who's just out there lighting his way with a torch. Then we have the blue dragon, or kind of teal dragon in this case. I went for a more of a greenish blue and a sort of lighter blue than the normal blue dragon. Not sure if the green comes across very well in this lighting. And he's on a pile of treasure. And who's this? Yeah, it's the big supergiant spider, Arakoth. Now, when I've googled images of things like Shelob or Ungoliant, they're all just black or very dark gray or very super dark blue, and it's kind of boring. So I went with a mix of dark colors instead: green, red, and yellow, and there was, so to create some variety. Hopefully, it's not too colorful. You know, I don't want it to come across as bright, and of course I made the underbelly lighter as well. I don't want it to come across as like Technicolor candy colored thing, but yeah, I hope it works. Moving over to this part, we have the blood demons, which are all red, since they're blood demons. This one got a sort of a dark collar look because some dark wash ran down into the cracks in his chest. Oh well, he's a demon. He can look sort of wonky. And their big brother here in the back with the wings, who has a bit more of an outfit with a sword and everything. They were just mostly speed painted because they're like an army unit. They're all the same basic colors and everything. And finally, we have sort of a Zeus-like figure here, the Storm Giant. I went with the purple skin on this one to contrast all the gold. I don't recall. I think in D&D lore, Storm Giants are said to have either sort of bluish green or purple skin, kind of depending if they're the underwater variety or the type that lives in the clouds. I don't think they're supposed to have white hair, but I decided with white hair here because, again, because he's sort of Grecian in his equipment, I wanted to go with the Zeus kind of look. And the skin, you know, it's challenging when you paint something this big because it's like painting a different scale. You have to be more subtle with the highlight and shading than something much smaller like one of these minis. I make the contrast between highlight and shade very extreme to make it pop because it's so small. But here I try to be more restrained. Hopefully it works. It doesn't look too weird, but still distinct. So you can see what it's supposed to be. Yeah, and I think he will just about fit in the light box. So we'll be able to make some still pics to show at the end. And yeah, so that's a haul of 13 minis. I don't think there will be very many weeks in the rest of the year where I finish that much. You know, I think I'm going to have to aim for like 10 at max, you know, between 5 and 10 per week. I think is a normal, reasonable output during working conditions, like during a working week, that is. But we'll see what happens. Let's go on to the workbench. And it's time to show you my newly prepped minis. Prepped and primed. We have 5 human-sized characters here in front. We have the 4 elemental genies in the back. And then we have Yog-Sothoth, who is a freaking huge and very complicated monster. There were a lot of pieces, a lot of tentacles, especially difficult figuring out how to fit all this together. Yeah, so there's a lot of parts to this, a lot of fields that need different colors. So it's going to be a complex paint job, and we'll see. I don't think this is a 1-week job. I think this is multiple weeks, but we'll just have to see. Especially considering I've got all these guys, and all these are all different elements, so they need completely different color schemes for all 4. Well, we'll see how that works out. One comment: this model actually had 2 optional heads. The other optional head was this one, which is just a bare head with a long ponytail wrapped around her head, shoulders. But I thought the full helm was more interesting because I just don't have a lot of models wearing full helms. It's all bare heads or maybe partial helms or open-faced helms. Very few completely enclosed. So that being more unusual, I decided to go with that version. And here we have the raccoon, we have the tiefling paladin. Let's see, I've straightened out the sword. We have the sword and dagger rogue, and we have a sort of bow and falchion ranger type. Yeah, I expect to have at least finished these characters by next week, certainly, and hopefully the genies, but as I said, probably not the eldritch horror, the elder god, the gate in the way himself. But, you know, stick around and you'll find out. Hello. I need to write this down in my ledger. So, because I have serious misgivings about whether I'll actually finish everything on my plate this week, especially Yog-Sothoth, that's gonna be a beast. I want to be very, very restrictive with how much new stuff I add to the queue. So I have picked out for my human painting or humanoid 3 townsfolk. One requires some assembly. These are all like medieval burghers. I think at least this gentleman and this lady and their scribe. So they have kind of complex outfits, so they will require a little bit of care in their painting, even though there's not that many of them. And then I actually picked out all the dragons that are left. All these are from the core set, so are these humans, by the way, as well, from Bones 5. And these are range from a pretty small, like pony-sized dragon, to a somewhat larger horse-sized one, to one that's slightly larger than that. And I've talked about not needing more dragons, but I decided that, you know what? I have only painted really chromatic dragons. I don't have any metallic dragons. And that's because metallic dragons are normally good alignment and they don't fight the characters. But maybe in some fantasy campaign they might get a metallic dragon ally. It's good if they're not too big, so they don't unbalance things. So I'll paint these up actually as like maybe a small gold dragon, a silver dragon, and one that's either bronze, copper, or brass. I I'm not sure how to tell the difference between those colors. Bronze, brass, and copper, that is. I mean, I suppose bronze is somewhat deeper, somewhat browner, darker than the others, but oh well. We'll see how I make do. And yeah, that's the plan. I'll prep these for next week and paint them then along with whatever is left over from the coming week. Probably Yogg-Sothoth. I'm calling it now. Anyway, that was this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, share. But above all, be back here next week. Same day of the week, same channel, same Dakian. Who's now son.